Young and the Restless. Wedding drama looms for Christine Williams, Danny Romalotti, and Phyllis Summers. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. We're going to discuss whether Christine Williams, Laura Lee Bell, and Danny Romalotti's Michael Damian wedding turns insane because of Phyllis. She may upset Daniel in the process for a very specific reason. I'm going to get into that. But before we dive in, please click subscribe if you're not following us yet. Danny Romalotti and Christine Williams rushed to the altar. We got a big young and the Restless wedding coming in just a few weeks. Most fans I've seen on soap's social media don't really care much about seeing Christine get her happy ending with Danny. However, I'm hoping it turns into an exciting chance for Phyllis to wreak havoc, so we can get some drama on our soap. Recently, Danny proposed to Christine. When he asked his long time off again, on-again sweetheart to marry him, of course, she said yes. Phyllis was not happy to hear that. She has Danny's ring on her finger because, of course, Phyllis wants on her own finger. Young and the Restless. Phyllis Summers plots to destroy Christine's wedding. Right now, Danny and Christine don't see any reason to wait to get hitched. Spoilers confirm that Danny and Christine's wedding will be in October. That's only a few weeks away. Plenty of time for Phyllis to plot a way to mess up Christine's big day. Whether for fun, spite, or both, you can bet Phyllis will be scheming. Danny wants his son Daniel to be there as his best man, and Daniel agreed without hesitation. Since Tessa Porter, Kate Fairbanks, has been teaching Daniel to play guitar and he wrote a song, he may even play at the wedding because his dad really wants him to. Christine and her bestie Lauren Fenmore, Tracy Bregman, are already searching for the perfect dress for the wedding. Christine is over the moon. But there's one thing overshadowing her excitement. Daniel's psycho stalker ex, Phyllis, who despises a bride. Will Phyllis Summers ruin Christine Williams' big day on Y&R? Christine mentioned to Lauren that she's worried Phyllis will do something to ruin her big day. She should be worried. That's valid because history shows Phyllis Summers won't sit idly by while Christine gets her happily ever after with Danny. Phyllis Summers has always been unhinged, and she still hasn't processed the trauma of being abducted with Sharon Newman, Sharon case, by psycho Martin Laurent, Christopher Cousins. Plus, Phyllis has always wanted to come between Christine and Danny. She has done it at every opportunity. Even though their feud goes back years, Phyllis's latest attempt to seduce Danny away from Christine was pretty recent. One of the most outrageous things she did was flaunting herself half-naked under a trench coat at the Jazz Lounge. She blatantly tried to seduce Danny, showing him she had just lingerie under the coat. Danny was like, no thanks, but she can't ever take a hint. Phyllis Summers, the unpredictable wild card. I see why Christine is worried. Phyllis is erratic and a loose cannon. Even on her best days, she acts without thinking, usually leaving chaos and destruction in her wake. She absolutely despises Christine, and hanging out with Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn, isn't going to make her a better person. It'll probably just make Phyllis worse. Once she finds out Danny's going to marry Christine soon, I could see Phyllis starting to plot some chaos. I'm guessing she may decide to show up at the wedding, lash out, and target her longtime nemesis, Christine. Daniel Romalotti caught in the crossfire on Young and the Restless. But whatever Phyllis does, it's not just going to hurt Christine. It's also going to anger Danny and embarrass her son Daniel, who actually likes Christine. Daniel is totally happy to have Christine as his new stepmom soon. Phyllis isn't going to sit still for that. I think she may pull some moves, just like Christine feared. Phyllis Summers' outrageous wedding sabotage plans. Just real quick, here are some things Phyllis Summers might try. She could sabotage Christine's dress, causing a wardrobe malfunction walking down the aisle or at the altar. She could swap out the dress for a really ugly one. Or maybe spill red wine on the dress moments before the wedding starts, leaving no time for Christine to fix it. In terms of smaller petty crimes, Phyllis could steal the bride and groom toppers from the wedding cake, destroy the cake, throw it at Christine, or glue her own face onto the little bride on top of the cake. We're talking about Phyllis Summers here. She might even pull the fire alarm to send Danny Romalotti, Christine, and their guests running out of the venue. Heck, I wouldn't put it past Phyllis to skip the false alarm and cause a real fire by setting something on fire at the venue. Christine and Danny's big day at risk as Phyllis threatens chaos. That would ruin Christine's wedding. The sprinklers would soak her dress and soak the cake. It would be a total disaster. There are all kinds of devious things Phyllis could do to mess up Danny and Christine's big day. But in the end, I don't think Phyllis Summers could do anything to stop Danny Romalotti from saying, "I do," and marrying Christine. Christine is the big love of his life. Phyllis Summers was just a woman who drugged and molested him. She then lied and said he got her pregnant and has stalked him ever since. Danny should have had a permanent restraining order on Phyllis long ago. Daniel Romalotti faces heartbreak if Phyllis acts out. The person who's going to be hurt most if Phyllis lashes out won't be Christine. It will be her son, Daniel Romalotti. Anything Phyllis does to derail the wedding is going to horrify Daniel. Of course, he'll be there since he's his dad's best man. I'm also wondering if the wedding might be Daniel and Tessa's first official date, which means this day will be very important for him. He would have skin in the game. Y&R romance. Daniel Romalotti and Tessa Porter heat up. This week on Y&R, Daniel and Tessa are getting much closer. We know Daniel is catching feelings for Tessa, and it looks like she may return those feelings. Tessa recently told Daniel Romalotti he makes her feel like she could be happy again. So Daniel and Tessa are falling for each other. This wedding might be special for Phyllis Summers' son in his own personal way. If Phyllis does something outrageous, it might not just ruin Christine's big day, but also Daniel's big date. Will Phyllis Summers push Daniel Romalotti away for good? If Phyllis Summers pulls some crazy stunt, it would affect two couples, Christine and Danny and Daniel and Tessa. I could see Phyllis doing something nutty. Then Daniel would be furious and have to drag his mother out of the venue. That would ruin his chance to have a really nice date with Tessa Porter. This could be the last straw, the straw that breaks the camel's back for Daniel. He might just be done with Phyllis. She has pulled so many stunts over the years, even faking her own death not long ago. Daniel Romalotti and his sister Summer Newman, Allison Lanier, had to go through all the hell of grieving, thinking she was dead when she was alive. The future of Phyllis Summers on The Young and the Restless. Phyllis just keeps stirring chaotic trouble, Phyllis style. If you remember, it took a long time for Daniel and Summer to get past that and forgive their mother. If Daniel sees Phyllis is still up to her old tricks, reckless and destructive, he might just wash his hands of her. She could see Danny marry Christine and then see Daniel walk away from her. It could be a very, very bad day for Phyllis Summers. Young and the Restless. Billy's mysterious partner plans to ruin Victor. Here's why. Young and the Restless spoilers of Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, conspiring with a secret partner to take down Victor Newman, Eric Braden. But we gotta ask, who is willing to work with wild card Billy, and also hates Victor, and also has the connections and the power to make things happen? It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and we're going to talk about 3 possible people who Billy could be working with. That is the secret person he has been talking to. But first, click subscribe if you're not following us. Young and the Restless. Billy Abbott fakes redemption. Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, had pretended to let go of his revenge plot on Victor. He says he's focusing on making his new company, Abbott Communications, something he and his family can be proud of. But this is Billy, after all, and he's still up to something, because he's got this secret partner nobody knows about. His brother Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, is bankrolling this new company, but he's just writing the check. So, it's not Jack that's playing a revenge game with him. Billy's got somebody else he's keeping in the loop. And there are 3 people who fit the bill as this potential co-conspirator that nobody else knows about. Y&R, Tucker McCall's potential revenge plot against Victor. So one person who comes to mind is Tucker McCall, Trevor St. John. Of course, the Abbotts can't stand him because of how toxic he was with Ashley Abbott, Eileen Davidson. And they were so thrilled to see him leave town. But I could see Billy working with Tucker if he would benefit from it. Now, Billy's no fan of Tucker, but they share a mutual dislike of Victor. And since the mustache did Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil, wrong, and she's near and dear to Devin Hamilton's Brighton James heart, that is another reason for Tucker to help out. He may want to run back to Devin and claim that he got vengeance on Victor for what he did to Lily. You know, If Billy is working with Tucker, he'd need to keep it a secret, especially from Jack, because he would be furious. Jack and Tucker's rivalry on Young and the Restless. He loathes Tucker, but if the guy can be of use to Billy and he can keep it hidden from the family, from the rest of the Abbotts, then, Tucker is a plausible option as a secret revenge partner. Of course, Billy working with Tucker wouldn't be exactly easy and would probably wind up blowing up in Billy's face. Of course, if they found out, Jack and Ashley would flip. But Billy's blinded by hatred when it comes to Victor. So, I think 100% he would risk their wrath if he thought Tucker could really help him take down Victor. Diane Jenkins' secret alliance with Billy. A Young and the Restless conspiracy? So another possibility is Billy's sister-in-law, Diane Jenkins, Susan Walters. Not long ago, when she and Jack reunited after their fake split. If you remember, Diane told Billy she needed to talk to him about something, and she kind of hinted that it was something secretive about it. That was for his ears only. At the time, I thought revenge plot, and then we never heard anything else about it. So Diane might have proposed that she and Billy work together to punish Victor, and we're going to find out about it after the fact. Flashbacks, whatever. I have no doubt Diane wants Victor to pay for luring Kyle Abbott, Michael Mealer, away from the Abbotts and then treating him like absolute garbage. Diane may hate Victor almost as much as Billy does. And she wouldn't want Jack to know that she was working with Billy because, of course, he would be against her chasing revenge. But if that is what they're doing and Jack finds out, he's going to flip because he hates it when Diane keeps things from him. Jack might be angry with Billy for plotting with his wife and keeping him in the dark. Plus, Billy swore he wouldn't go after him. And Diane also said that she would put all this behind her even though she was very upset at what he did. So Jack might regret putting his faith and trust in Billy and thinks he has not changed. Ashley Abbott's revenge. Could she be Billy's secret partner on Young and the Restless? Next, we're going to look at another Abbott who might be sneaking around playing revenge games with Billy to take down Victor. So there's a chance it could be Ashley Abbott, Eileen Davidson, conspiring with Billy. She's not been seen much since her recovery in Paris, but she pops up here and there. She came back for Abby Newman's Melissa Ordway wedding, and she stuck around a little bit, and then she left town again. But Ashley might want to be part of Billy's revenge plan for very specific reasons of her own. Ashley is Victor's ex, and yes, they share a daughter, but that doesn't always mean that they get along. Don't forget, Ashley adored her dad, John Abbott, formerly Jerry Douglas, and adores her brother Jack most of the time. And Victor Newman is taking aim at the family business. He is trying to destroy the legacy that Ashley's dad built. And he targeted her brother and her nephew, Kyle. Not only that, but Victor swiped Chancellor away from Billy using lies and trickery to convince Jill Abbott, Jess Walton, she couldn't trust Billy and that he was doing a bad job. So when you look at the Abbott family, really Ashley is the one aside from Billy Abbott who has tons of reasons to consider teaching Victor a lesson and serving him some payback. If Victor gets what he wants, Jabot will be left in ruins. So yeah, Ashley would team up with Billy to stop him. I don't doubt it, and Ashley is very good at plotting payback. Young and the Restless. Billy's risky revenge plot and potential consequences. No matter who it is teaming up with Billy, he is definitely up to something, and it is not going to end well for him. Because when he's scheming and being sneaky, it just never works out, and he's supposed to be turning over a new leaf. He told everybody, and they actually believed him. So, while I do agree that Victor deserves a little comeuppance, Billy Boy usually fails when he takes on the mustache, and I don't see it working out well for him this time. Whoever the secret partner is, Billy's keeping it from Jack, who's trusted him with millions of dollars to launch Abbott Communications. And he's keeping this mysterious partner hidden from Sally Spectra, Courtney Hope, Phyllis in the dark on Y&R. He's also hiding it from Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, and just keeping a big secret. The fact that he is still pursuing a vendetta against Victor very actively, but under the radar of everybody who cares about him because he knows they would be very upset with him. Thing is, Billy is impulsive, and he's always going back and forth between trying to be good and listening to the devil on his shoulder and giving into his shady impulses. So he could be about to go off the deep end again. I wouldn't be surprised. And how far Billy goes and how fast he falls could depend entirely on the identity of this secret co-conspirator. If it is Tucker McCall, that guy is super bad, and he has very few limits. And he wouldn't care if Billy fell flat on his face, as long as Tucker got what he wanted out of it. So if it's Tucker, things would get really bad really fast. But if the person chasing revenge with Billy is Diane Jenkins or Ashley Abbott, well, they might be able to rein him in and control his chaos. And it might actually succeed. We'll find out more soon about the super secret partner of Billy's.